Great morning and great afternoon, great evening, wherever you're located in the world. This is We Got Problems and We Got Solutions. And tonight's topic is Afghanistan versus Haiti. And we'll be back in 30. All right. Welcome to We Got Problems and We Yeah. I'm back with the homies. With the homies in the house. We got problems to my
Other way.
we got the trash vegan in the house.
Wherever he at.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
We got the butterfly bully
Hey, everybody.
and my man 50 grand going to a millie. Curtis G. Martin.
What up? What up?
And tonight's episode 25. Ain't this a mother? We
He said
tracking
one of them
along.
and didn't say the other one.
Mother Martin. But yeah, tonight's episode we're gonna convene and talk about what's going on Afghanistan versus Haiti. And we're seeing some very, very, very suspect pictures and violence towards melanated people that's trying to get here to a country that they claim that is for the free once you make it to the soil. However, we're seeing the total opposite when it comes to non-melanated people, I would say, being treated differently regardless of the situation. And we kind of know the history of Haiti, and it seemed like they still paying for the main thing of called freedom. They still paying for it, and for some reason they just won't let up on Haitians, I would say. What do y'all think, guys?
Yeah, I definitely think Haiti's still paying for, their revolt. I don't think that was taken very well. And I don't think that they want people to start getting any ideas. We'll put it like that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it too. I feel like if Haiti becomes successful after a revolt and then becomes successful, they set the blueprint pretty much, right? And then everybody rebels. So you never let somebody get if you're on top, you never let them get on top, right? You remember? I can't remember the movie. I think it was the Ant movie. And the guy goes in there and they take their food. The locusts or whoever it was taking the ants' food every winter or whenever they go hibernate, right?
Yeah, I remember.
And then the guy, one of the ants threw something at one of them. Wow, he like, no, let's get him. And the man said, no, it was just one ant. He said it was one, but just think if it's all of them that do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's that same concept. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on the trash?
I don't know. You know how we do anybody that look like us, anybody with carbon in their DNA. You know, they always look to get us and treat us the worst. It's been a history of that. And with the Haitian people, you know, it's like after earthquake, after natural disaster, after this, after that, they can't find a break. And then when they're at their worst point and they're in need, then they're getting treated like beating dudes on horses, beating young men and
with
women out there,
whips,
like really old school, 1930
overseers.
something. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I've seen some pretty disturbing footage on it, but of course they show you what they want to show you, and it really doesn't determine how bad they're really being treated with the assassination of their president and also the forced vaccinations and their. It's a whole list of things that's going wrong with Haiti right now, and no one's really talking about any of the real issues there. They want to say about, oh, we letting these Afghani people in because they're going through the whole country being taken over once we pulled our troops out of harm's way again. Then they want to make it seem like it's okay to let one in and then take the other and treat it like it's okay to ride around on horses with whips again.
And you know what's crazy is they created both situations.
Right.
They created the Afghanistan was running just fine without us.
Yeah.
Right. Iraq was running just fine without us. Now it's a trouble in the region, and we have to go over there. Then we leave all the weapons and drones and all that. Like, man, hey, that remind me of the hood almost, right? Like they leave rail cars full of guns inside the rail cars, right? Then somebody steals the guns, they sell them, and then all of a sudden a gang war jumps off. Then the person with the guns selling the guns get caught, and then everybody that was in the gang war get caught. And then a lot of people died, right? So it's the same shit, man. It's just given to us different.
A lot of people died. A lot of people go to jail.
Privatized prisons.
Money. A lot of lawyers get paid. A lot of hospital bills get made.
The
the
judges, the police. You need more police on the street. Yeah, it's a system.
It's a system, and the system is working. It's not broke.
It's not broke. Everything that's going on is going as designed for the project they put our babies and our families in to the problems that they have to deal with. So it's nothing wrong with it.
Hey, y'all remember a year ago in Chicago they had a van full of, not a van but like a truck full of shoes, Nike shoes and stuff like that, trying to set the kids up.
No, they do that all the time, man.
Well,
they
even with the riots, when they were rioting, when they were doing all the protests and stuff, they would set out like plants of bricks.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
Here's some
bricks. Know what's going to happen with them. And then they'd send officers in there to start it up. And then, we're going to jump in. Like
they had a couple of, we already on edge. All we need is somebody to like, let's kick this shit off. We trying to do it peacefully, right? We going out here to be peaceful. And then somebody come out there. And then what's even crazier? For me, if you see a white dude, a white person, or I got to get more like trash and be like, if you see somebody non-melanated, they kick it off. You're like, oh, they can't be kicking it off for us, and we ain't doing nothing. And then we kick off,
and they disappear.
Right? So we got to be mindful of that. Convicted. Yeah, we got to be mindful of that.
We got them on video.
The video start rolling 2 minutes into that. When all the other stuff, they got to make sure.
So the video is now a gift and a curse. You know what I'm talking about? I remember Ice Cube had a song back in the day talking about who got the camera, right? I don't know if y'all remember that song, but he had a song "Who Got the Camera" when Rodney King people was first on video doing something. So now everything's videoed, right? Like when you talk about, like Trash said, they not gonna really show us all the graphic pictures. They show a couple of somebody with the reins or the whips hitting them, and then they falling in the water. But what about that one that fell and the horse trampled them, right? Like it's some of that footage somewhere. Like you can't make me believe. Once I see that, I see the full picture.
It's usually a baby. Something happened to a baby, and the parent is standing up asking why, and then they show the response on how they treat the parent, but they don't show why the parent is out there in the first place. They want to make it seem like these parents are just violent people that's doing anything, and they're fighting for the freedom of the border. They're justifying any way they need to justify it to make it sound like, okay.
Oh, there it goes, right there. There you go, right there, right
But
there.
then the deed is never explained when you see what happened to the men, women, and children that have to live with the results of it. You know, the
Yeah.
people that ride around on the horses that get to go home at night. They're not the ones out there in these refugee camps and sitting on the edge of disaster on their last whim, on their last prayer, asking for help. You know what I mean? These people
Mm.
have families just like any other humane situation. But when we had Trump in office and he was like, no, we're just not letting anybody in, he was wrong when he said it like that. But now we have a new party in office, and now they're saying like it's a real bad
He
thing
said,
to
"Hey, my boy
kind of
put
treat
a
people fair.
Trump put a Muslim ban on, and now they put a nigga ban on."
Yeah. Hey, look. So, hey, look. Hey, so before we really dig into that, it's the same bird, man. Two different wings, but same bird, right? So
Yeah.
they going one hitting these people and one hitting these people, and then like my man said, they all still melanated, right, in some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
But
we got to remember.
and one of the main things, why does Haiti keep getting hit with the storms?
Well,
Not
you
just
know,
storms.
I'm gonna be
You ever thought about that?
I'm gonna be the
Not
conspiracy
just
theorist
not
on the
just
panel.
storms, earthquakes as well.
I'm gonna be the
We
conspiracy
all
theorist on the
are.
panel. I'm gonna be the conspiracy theorist on the panel, right? I believe in the weather manipulation. I totally
They
You
do.
like
they
they
said that
So
they
like
do
we
that.
but they
curse.
they say they don't do it when it comes to disasters, but then when it
Curse.
comes to for
We
good, they
need
can
some
do it.
rain. Get out of
Yeah, we
here.
need some
Come on
rain. Yeah,
now.
we know how to do it. But you can
We
give me
know
No,
too much
exactly
when
how
rain
to
too,
do
can't you?
when it get like 150 over there, 140 in the desert, and they start getting too hot in Dubai, and they start making it rain for a few days. Kind of the same tools they're using to make it rain
Yeah,
over Haiti.
they got the
Kind of similar.
uh NASA got the weather maker. Y'all seen that machine?
I,
Y'all seen
I
it?
I haven't seen a machine. I saw some shit over like
I'll show you.
I can't
Hold
remember
on.
where it was. It was like some looked like satellites and shit. I years ago, man, I was deep into that shit. I told y'all I quit wearing all that shit they was giving me, but anyway, this ain't that show. Right? But
I'll show you.
I got deep into it. Like I was telling Rhonda the other day after one of our calls that like I got to get back. Like I think my eating practices have fell off a little bit, right? Like I got to get back to everything I'm doing so I can get back in tune. Like I don't feel in tune no more. My awareness is still up, but I think it should be growing even, right? Like as soon as I saw that horse and them guys get beat, I automatically start seeing the different pictures that they not showing me, right? Like that programming that I want to get back to. Like some people don't want to see all that shit, right? Like have that awareness, that third eye awareness to where you see everything.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
if you want to
But you
see
know
it
what?
all,
I think
if you
that's
want
why
to
they
see it
keep.
all, you gotta be able to accept what you see. And everybody not willing to accept what they see.
No, I'm
Everybody
good,
not
man.
willing.
I'm good, Trash. I'm gonna tell you this, man. Like I ain't gonna never say we don't need therapy, right? Probably all of us need therapy, but you got guys now running around talking about y'all need therapy. Don't say people don't do things. Yeah, we know we need therapy. We can't afford it. Right, when you look at it, we can't afford it, so we've been self-therapeutic for the longest, right? Like some of us just learn to deal with it, move on, and what they say, pull up your bootstraps and just go, right? We've been doing that for the longest, right? But now we got to help other people do it. If you was able to maintain by yourself, you need to help somebody else.
Right, but even for those that do go to therapy, how many of us can go to a therapist that looks like us?
Yeah.
We're not gonna go talk to
How many
somebody
we
that
can? How many can we go
this
to a therapist that actually understand us? You know,
right.
It's funny
I
because it's like you giving information to the same people that harmed
Right.
you in the beginning. Oh, that really hurt.
Yeah.
hey, this is gonna
And they'll
sound
never
bad, but
understand it.
Well, you should just go get some credit cards and go spend money wherever you can.
hey, this is gonna sound bad, y'all. But it's kind of remind me of a story I heard today about a girl who was out in one of the industries or whatever, and she was just reenacting, trying to go through therapy and stuff for all the heinous stuff that happened to her. And she was like, the doctors just looked at her because the stuff that she was doing was so bad. They had no recollection of what she was actually into, and they just looked at her like with a broken face. But like when you think of our story, when you tell somebody what you actually have to grow up living in a melanated body, they think you crazy. Growing up in the '90s out here, how many different neighborhoods you had to walk through just to get to school? And the different type of confrontations you would encounter every day with just wearing a different shoe. You could wear the wrong shoe in my neighborhood, and that shoe just was frowned upon by a different set of people, and that could be, yeah,
Dope, man.
it could turn out that you don't make it home that day. You know what I mean? And we think of all of the love and the time and the prayers and the foods and the blessings that go into one of these little melanated bodies, and it's taken like that or treated so
Just for a
heinously.
goddamn picture on the fucking t-shirt.
Hey, but see, we all go through those traumas, man. But what they do to us is they turn us into consumers and not into helpers. We definitely supposed to be helping people, man. Like right now, we supposed to be getting something together where we can send. Like I got a bag full of shoes, man. I have no clue where to send them to where some Haiti people can get these clothes and shoes, right? Like somebody got boots on the ground. That's where I want our organization to step in when we get close to different things and we grab somebody and say, hey, this is what we want to do. And we call up somebody and say, hey, y'all just mail some shoes to this address. Or I saw this guy. I don't know if y'all familiar with him, Raspy Rawls. He had during one of Katrina's, it wasn't Katrina, but one of the floods or hurricanes in Louisiana. He from Louisiana, but he had, that's when I first found him. He had trucks of stuff going to Louisiana. Like he was paying for some of the stuff out of his pocket. People was donating money. He was showing the receipts where he was spending the money, getting clothes, renting U-Haul trucks, people driving stuff down there. That's what we got to get to, where we taking care of ourselves, right? And then now, once we can take care of the Haitians like, okay, the Americans, indigenous guys took care of us. Right. So when they start getting on their grind, they know we team up with the indigenous people or the melanated people from America. And then when we help the next group, now we got to know we help each group, right? Because we're the majority. They make us think we're minority. We're the majority of the world, and this is our world.
Yeah.
But the problem with being the majority and being separated by all of these different divisions that we put amongst ourselves is the reason why we keep on being conquered. And our education system is broke, and we feel the way we do about taking vaccinations because the country has shown us time and time again how they treat a melanated body. And it's not everybody, it's just what the country is built off of.
Hey,
against understanding that, then you got to deal with the consequences.
Well, here's the thing. Think about it. Like in war, what do you have to do? You have to divide and conquer. So they can't get us on brute strength. You know what I'm saying? So they have to deceive and lie.
Hey, well, why they can't get us on brute strength? No, I just want to ask that question.
We got a lot of Superman out here.
Yeah,
you got a lot of, where we get our energy from the sun.
Yeah.
You seen how we jump? You seen how we maneuver? You seen them guerrilla tactics? We were like, nah, we're not gonna line up just for a bullet to hit us, and then we're gonna use guerrilla tactics. We don't want to get shot, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna duck in between trees. Like the old days when they went on an open field and they had they one bullet. We ain't doing that. We're gonna do this guerrilla warfare, what we learned on the plains here and also in Africa.
So what about you said strength, but what about thinking and knowledge? Where you think we stand there?
Even that. Think about it. The world renowned, they still trying to study him. What's my boy at Carthage, Hannibal the Great, where he attacked fucking Rome? Never been done. He had elephants going through the mountains and all kinds of shit. He's one of the few tacticians of his time. and it's still studied today. You know what I'm saying? You also have Shaka. You know what I'm saying? You have Menelik the second out of Ethiopia. He got the motherfucking Italians out of there with Mussolini and all them trying to come through and conquer. He got them up out of there. But see, what white supremacy do, they never forget. They never forget. So same thing with Dessalines and Toussaint and Bookman, Dutty, all these people back then, they had the blueprint, but the blueprint wasn't followed through. You know, the second wing, you know, they got lazy, thought they was good, and they didn't protect Haiti. Now Haiti, you know, still owes France and also 14
40%.
other countries in Africa still owe
The
France.
40% of the 40% of the country's revenue was paid to France as reparations.
Hey, you know something, man? They like, we get caught up in gang violence and criminal activities, but that's easily done when you're poor or don't have much in your community, right?
Don't have
But
resources,
right,
purpose.
but at the same time, that's why you see me like wearing the We Got Problems on this show, like
Mhm.
or I will never wear another shoe brand on this show. Right, like I look back at some of the past shows, and I had, and I'm gonna just say it, I had on Adidas because I used to rock Adidas a whole lot, or maybe I have on some Nike or some Puma.
Mhm.
I'm never rocking that no more. I'm not getting rid of my stuff that I spent my hard earned money on, right? But I'm never replacing it. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
replace it with all our brands, right? Like other brands. So we got to learn how to spend our money, and then how to use our money when we giving back. And that's what brought me back to that Haitian thing. Like, we really need, like, I saw some brothers out there too. I saw some brothers out there going out there to where they was keeping some of the refugees. I hate calling them refugees because where they was keeping some of the hostages,
Mhm.
right? They holding them hostage, right? They was keeping some of the hostages at, and they were making noise and putting some real video out with people not wanting to speak. When, how do you have somebody at a place that's not in charge to come talk to the people, or somebody that's looking for answers? Nobody's in charge, right? Like, and something happened with us too when we doing these protests. One thing you're not supposed to do is say you're in charge, right? Now they have somebody to blame.
Yeah.
And they stick in the script. So one thing I want, and then I'm gonna yield, but Trash, you said earlier the school system is broken. It ain't broken. It
I
ain't
didn't say
supposed
it
to
was.
work for us.
I'm saying that it's not, as a whole, depending on where you send your child to. And now this is me doing my research and seeking out the best that I could find in my area and sending my child to the very best version of it. You know, just putting my child through the ringer, my children through the ringer. And I'm gonna tell you this: learning what I know, without being involved, and knowing how our parents are as a whole and how they view school. The ones that care are there. The ones that don't, the kids are falling by the wayside, and just it's just a sad epidemic that's going on. That's what's happening to our melanated kids in the school system, because you have these teachers that come from an area that don't understand where these kids are at, because most of them are in inner cities, and that's where they keep us, the projects, how they have a design as it works. So when you have these teachers coming to these environments and they're not prepared to teach these kids, even the ones that they've seen for years and know the family, they still can't understand the poverty and the environment some of these children are coming out of. And they try and teach them from their perspective and their understanding of life, and they don't understand the survival day to day of some of these children. It's totally different when you're waking up and you're worrying about how you have to survive and what you gonna eat if you taking care of your little brothers and sisters, your mom at work, opposed to a non-melanated teacher who's came from both of her parents always being there and taken care of in a totally different environment that don't know what this kid had to wake up and do to eat before they got to school. You know what I mean? And when they get that version of kid, and that kid might act out or might have a bad day
And they
because
don't
the
understand.
teacher might view it, they have no clue how to deal with that child. They're totally unprepared.
Hey, but look, all the industries are like that. If you think about it. So what I hear you saying is that parents, at least if we're gonna be in the school system, they need to be present.
All of our that's the least you can do for your child.
Is be
Every
present.
one of the programs we have at our school for my daughter's school is the Watchdogs, and it was started in back east somewhere. And they our old principal, Melinda Ortiz, before she got promoted to the district, she brought this program called the Watchdogs in. And the dogs has an acronym, Dads for Great Students. So, every day we have a father on campus helping and assisting the school when we had it, when we were up before COVID. You know what I mean? That's what we did. And it's a program that has dads coming to a meeting, talking about problems and different issues that their children might be having on campus. And when you see fathers doing it and take a real hand in the educating of their kids, you have a different appreciation. And we don't find that in our community. It would be different if I could have found that in any elementary school that I went to. It was never even thought about bringing it to ours. And
Hey, but
we
that's
need
the same
programs like
thing.
that.
Same thing with everything, though. You think about the fire departments. The fire departments, same thing. They come from all areas everywhere and come right in our communities. So do they really have an interest in putting out a fire in a timely manner? Do they really have an interest in saving this guy's life that just been shot? Or is he just another gangbanger? Or is he just another black guy? Or is he just another melanated guy, right? Like, so when you think about all the industries that get paid by government, they all send non-melanated people in to teach us, right? Like, and I did the same thing as you did. Like, my kids go to a different type of school, right? Like, but at the same time, my wife is president more than me, but I make sure I'm involved when it comes to sitting at the table and figuring out this math problem. I make sure I'm involved by sitting down and reading to me, sitting down and teaching them about stuff that the school ain't gonna teach them. Right. So I make sure I do all of those things as well.
But see, my view of it is this, right? Working like I'm that's what I do. I've been an active member in PTA since my kids have been in school. Every school they've been to, I've been in their PTA just because I want to know what goes on at the school. Through COVID, one of the things that had me comfortable sending my kids to online school, what they had to transition to last year, was the principal. She did a monthly meeting, and it's called Coffee with the Principal. She came in, she got a cup of coffee. What's going on, y'all? What are we talking about? And she talked to everybody, and she kept it even board. And you can come in there, and it was just like, after dark. Like, you can come in and say what you want to say. You got the open platform. You know what I mean? You can be muted if you're out of pocket, but if you own, they'll let you go ahead and talk about what your piece is. And when you got that one-on-one communication and you had that understanding, as a parent, it kept a lot of the problems and the riffraff down. It was a fight on campus, right? They allowed the kids back on campus. Boop, 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 fist to cuff. Principal got on there and said it straight like this. She was like, look, I get your kid from the time you drop them off at 7, whatever, to the time I release them to you at 2, whatever. The time I release them to you, them is your kids. So anything they doing on social media or anything or any beef they have on your time, you need to be a parent.
You need to be a parent. Hey, so tell me
See
this.
each other on my time.
Do you think they talking about current events enough in the
I
schools?
look at it. I give it to you like this. My son, he's in high school now, right? His first year in elementary school was the first year that Southern California introduced Common Core. Their class is the first class that's been on since the Common Core. So the class before them, they didn't understand Common Core. They were testing the sixth graders on Common Core, and it was like a miserable fail. But every year since then, they have implemented the learning system of Common Core, and it's different because I understand having the teachers explain it to me what they had to explain by the district and what they have to go produce and teach the kids. They're not teaching you the 1+1=2 math that we used to learn. They need to be able to write this problem out. They need to be able to do a graph on this problem. They need to be able to do 3 different type of ways to answer the same problem.
That sounds like a form of the damn, what they call it,
The Bell test.
no, they was calling it something else. I'll think of the name in a minute, but I think they should be teaching current events. Like, kids need to know what's going on in Haiti, because kids, as young as they are, if you talk current events, there probably are some non-melanated kids that will say, hey, that's not right. And then they will grow up different. Right? But because we keep talking about, I know, because we keep talking about it's the old guys. We always say these old politicians is the ones that's the problem. But for 400 years, these old politicians used to be the young politicians because they've been in the office for 43 years.
I don't think that should be allowed either.
Yeah, no, just look at Biden. Yeah. I mean, he got a track record for saying he don't want niggas going to the same school.
He got a track record for saying, hey, if Haiti just fell underwater,
yeah,
then who
which reminds me, I found this stream. I'm gonna go ahead and play this right quick. Hold on, right quick. And you remember the question I asked?
Tank. It may only be 130 miles to space, but to cover that distance, the engines will use 500,000 gallons of fuel, and that works out at 2 feet to the gallon. Despite the cost, however, NASA does need to test these engines once in a while. So they built this place in the wetlands of Mississippi. The first thing they installed was a huge loudspeaker, through which they played white noise to simulate the sound of a rocket. They then sent a number of trucks in different directions out into the wilderness, and the drivers were ordered to stop when the noise levels became acceptable. This gave them an imaginary boundary line, and anyone living on the inside of it was offered a simple choice. Stay, and you'll never hear another television program as long as you live, or take the NASA shilling and get out. No one stayed, and NASA ended up with exactly what it wanted: 125,000 acres of nothing. They even had to move 5 cemeteries, because the noise they were planning on making would wake the dead. Don't worry if you can't hear what I'm saying. I couldn't even hear myself. This is the loudest sound you could possibly conceive. And as it turns out, the cleanest. Now, the most amazing thing is that that cloud up there, which was generated by the engine, is just a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. It's water vapor. And in about an hour's time, someone in Mississippi is going to get wet washing. It will actually rain. I told you, it's raining. That's unbelievable. Oh, NASA's playing God. It's making its own weather.
That's
That just
crazy.
goes to show you this was some years ago, but just think of how technology improve. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean improve.
Mhm.
So
Hey, even on
it's
top of
not
the refineries, on
it's not
top of the
even a
refineries,
conspiracy.
they have clouds on top of the refineries. If you notice around here, trash, right? You see the plumes come out, and then you see
Mm-hmm.
they forming their own little clouds, right? And this was
Mm-hmm.
crazy, Ali. They got hydrogen in the refineries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not conspiracy theory. We just not privy to all the technology that is put out. Um, I saw this clip like probably like early 2000s, but yeah, they what it's a lot that we don't know what they be doing in silence. You know what I'm saying? They move in silence. They are the bad boys.
Hey, you help me remember that name, the HARP system.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah,
The
that's
satellite
it right
system.
there.
That's part
Oh
of it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's part
yeah,
of it.
yeah, yeah. I remember now because I remember they were saying like I don't know what made me start getting into stuff. Like more people I follow, man. Like I try to follow people that give me information, right?
Yeah,
So definitely that could be happening in Haiti, right?
yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just think about it. Like they the only one that's keep getting hit. Like back to back, back to back, back to back. You know what I'm saying?
But you already know why they are.
Yeah.
And they're not going to let up. That's exactly why they don't want to let them in. Especially with everybody, with all of us doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll speed it up. And I think they know that and they don't want that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the process of shit turning around has begun. It's begun. You know, we can look back and think stuff is horrible still, and we got a lot to go. We can always say we got a lot to do, right? But we headed in the right direction. Anytime we can get four of us sitting here talking, and we all from across the United States, and we got the same goals in mind, then shit's changing. We're not the only four in this world.
Right. And then here's the thing. We can actually have a conversation, whether we agree or not. We can still sit down and talk about it instead of, man, we can cuss right now, right? Look, we passed 2 minute mark, right?
Oh yeah, we been past. We been past.
Well,
Hey, so I want to go back to the whole Afghan thing, right? Like, so because I was hearing, y'all know I don't watch the news, so it's hard for me to get my info. I get my info from like I had to cancel one of my newscasters online, right? D.L. Hughley, he used to be one of my guys I get news from, but I shook him. Anyway, but I get my news online from people I trust, right?
Until they get bought out.
Until they get bought out. But what do we know about Afghans being taken to hotels and getting special privileges? Like I heard they were being taken to like somewhere nice to stay.
That
Have y'all
sounds
heard
about
that?
right, doesn't it?
I haven't
That sounds
officially
about
heard
right,
it
though.
from
the
from
only
from.
thing I heard, I know we had a story here that there was a couple of Afghans getting charged with felonies. One for strangulation or choking of his wife, and another was um, rape of a child.
I think I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
But you know what? And I'm gonna say it's bad people everywhere, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, them stories you don't see. You don't see a whole lot of them. Like, I don't want to blame it that I don't watch the news, but I think when a lot of stuff would have went viral of some Afghans raping a kid, it should have came out.
But here's the thing: you got to look at the culture. How young do they marry? I'm not
Usually
saying
like
it's right. I'm not saying it's right at all. But you have to
9.
look at what they're they're accustomed to.
Yeah, they was like because of Muhammad married at 9, married was it married a girl at 9 or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and also Indian culture, they had like little bridesmaid, not bridesmaid, but little brides at 9. So they practice this thing. I can bring up the video and stuff. I mean, it's like wow, these babies haven't fully developed. You know what I'm saying? What do you
Right.
get out of that?
And that's why I'm like, I don't agree with it. But you have
Yeah.
to look at their culture. So it's not surprising that it's happening.
When you
Yeah.
talk
But
about cultures that come from their cultures are based off selling kids or marrying kids off for property and land. So it was
Yeah.
business transactions. They come from a totally different mindset than some of us understand. And when you come from a Western way of thinking, and then you hear somebody speaking of that, of course it sounds horrible to us, but to them it's like a business deal. So they don't look at it as that. So, you know what I mean? It's totally different cultures. When you start talking about how one culture frowns upon some cultures' traditions, well, hey, how about somebody frown on what their ancestors did from hanging some from the tree and stuff? So they might not think that's okay. So when you see one of their ancestors cut somebody's head off with one of their swords, you know what I mean, or cut a hand off for stealing, we might frown upon that. It's just different perspectives on life. You know, everybody has a way that they're brought up, and you can't tell somebody they're wrong for the way their family brought them up. It's just you either have to respect it or make sure they don't come to your area.
But what's so crazy is in today's time, what do we consider civilized?
Hey, running in the capital seems pretty civilized when you think they're taking your country from you, right?
No, you know what?
Is there
We
something wrong?
no, we look at that as bad, but
Who said that? Who said it's
no,
bad?
I'm
So a
saying
whole group of people just thought it was pretty cool.
no, all of us, we
That's
look
the
at it like,
movement.
look, they ran into the Capitol. That we go on some bullshit, but that's because they know what's up.
Yeah.
We not to the point to where we thinking about do your best.
Revolution.
Like our thing should be do your best not to get caught up in this system of having a felony. And I know
right.
that's not easy, but you got to do your best. So now you can bear arms.
Mm-hmm.
Right now that you can bear arms, you be ready. Learn how to survive. Fuck these Nikes, these Benzes and shit. I get it, making money on Turo. That's something different. But just spending your money just to be spending it. Have you
To
some
look good.
guns?
It's not
Have
just to be
some
spending it.
guns look
Our
good
people gotta
too.
look good. Our people
Some
Exactly.
gotta
guns
look
look good
good.
too.
Our people gotta shine, brother. They gotta
But
have
you got to defend that
what's those
shine.
Balenciagas,
I want you to
and who
defend
them
that
other
shine though, and defend
Fendi,
it
who's them other
legally.
Gucci,
designers in their
Louis.
closet?
Yeah.
The Gucci, Louis, Prada, Balenciaga. Who else they got on out here
I
these
see.
days?
I'm so
Prada,
glad I was never into that shit. I ain't
Coach,
never
Yeah.
been into name brand. Like I
Hey,
don't care. I've never cared.
Versace,
hey,
Versace.
what was that? Andre 3000 say you never see Bill Gates bling blinging when he Microsofting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I got the quote right, but he was like, you don't see Bill Gates wearing his money on him. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, we have an affinity for wearing
Well, it's not
looking
for some
rich.
reason. It's because that's what was put in our face.
Yeah.
That's what we were taught to aspire to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's perpetuated in our culture.
It's part of the programming as well.
It,
It's
it,
Right.
part of the
it was always
programming.
part of the programming because you remember the entertainers, they used to get Cadillacs, but they get no dough. You know what I'm saying? That you get nigga trinkets and
Yeah.
butter biscuits, but you never get the face value of what you're worth. You know what I'm saying? And I think
But that's the business
the
of
movie,
everything. That's the business of
well,
this country. And that don't have nothing to do with black or white. That's the business of this country.
oh,
Either you learn how
it
to play
had,
that game or you fall behind.
but here's the thing: for the people who create, just look at it. For the people who create, they never got paid what they worth. You always had a small hat or a white figure that always attach themselves to the artist or the
Yeah.
boxer or the sports player. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's good.
You understand? These type of people who have no talent except know how to fuck you over on the finances side. They always been a part. Those are the culture vultures.
Hey, they still doing it though, Ali.
They still doing it.
What they do
It's
now
it's-
is they
it's
give
on
a brother all of the money, and then they take it all from him, and he get a bunch of show money.
It's
Even
affiliate.
they'll give you $1 billion. They'll give you $1 billion. They'll give you $1 billion, and they making 10 billion on the other side. But one brother get to get 1 billion. Like
Yeah.
I get that. Everybody else don't get it.
And then they say, then they point the finger and say, look, you can aspire to
Be like
Diddy,
him.
you can be just like them. You can
See,
be
I
like
wasn't gonna say no
Oprah.
names.
Nah, fuck it. You can be like Diddy, you can be like Jay-Z, you can be like you can be hey shit, fuck it. It is what it is.
I like that.
You can aspire to these people, but you don't know the backdoor dealings they're, you know.
Hey, some of them will do it for a few thousand.
You know what I'm saying? And so you got to take poverty-stricken people who have no resources in their neighborhoods. You know, we had a conversation yesterday when we talk about black on black crime. It's in the vicinity of our own people. But because we don't control the media, we don't control the narrative. So they'll report black on black, black on black, black on black, and then they'll sprinkle one white person in there. Black on black, black on black. Oh, here's blah, blah, blah today. It's a nice, lovely figurine or some shit. Black on black, black on black. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't control that outlet at all. How many times have you seen this? I mean,
yeah, when you're in survival mode, man, there's gonna be crime.
We're not thriving. But you know, white people do the same thing, Asian community do the same thing, and they not talked about. Like we're not running through the gamut. They not running through the gamut like we are. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like
they would never have to understand
the prison system is
not even the prison system. See, it's so much.
It's all.
The prison system is just a part of it, right? It's a whole system in this country, and it's a really, really delicate thing to talk about because we have some people who learn how to play the game, and when you learn how to play the game, it's viewed totally different. Like you keep like y'all was talking about the one that gets the $1 billion and the Diddy's and all the other artists and the people who are successful who learn how to play the game.
No, that ain't playing the game.
The masses of us are exploited, and we're the.
And sometimes they use that one to exploit. Sometimes they use that one to exploit. So when we learn how to play the game, that's when I'm buying and wearing trash vegan shirts. That's when I'm buying and wearing butterfly bully shirts. I'm buying and wearing a grindaholic shirts. That's when we learning how to play the game because we creating a ecosystem amongst ourselves. Now that's the $1,000 shirt. If you ain't got this trash bully shirt, when we got games, we got the in-home banking game, right? I got another one behind me, right? Called developers, right? Like when we doing that, when we buying our books, 10 Strategies to Take Action, The Rise of the Trash Vegan, The Painted Lady, when we buying our own books and hearing our own story, that's when it's on. When we buying the Bitcoin books, right? That's when it's on. That's when we learning how to play the game. Like when we learn how to game. Yeah, when we learn how to play the game just to get money in that system, that's only for self. When we learn how to play the game amongst ourselves, now we not only grinding for our last name, we grinding for our community.
Yeah.
I mean, building generational wealth.
Because you got to look when they throw these entertainers. See, this whole thing was a marketing plan from beginning to end, from the 80s all the way into now. You know what I'm saying? They induce the negative energy with so-called gangster rap. Oh, this reality rap, blah blah blah. But behind that, you had the drugs. And they was building the privatized prisons behind it. So you got a whole generation of unruly kids who getting fast money, but not seeing the overseeing eye of America, what they was plotting and planning. And when you look in hindsight, you're like, damn, they didn't put the 3 strikes law. They got all these prisons. They filled with niggas.
And then they got the rap music telling us how to go do all the wrong shit.
Low, medium, low vibrations. You know what I'm saying?
So when we find all of that out, that's when we supposed to we supposed to pivot, and we should be pivoting all of the time, right? Like we should never be stationary, because there's somebody behind the scenes always making a move against us. So sometimes we got to be like the game is chess. That's what I should say. We supposed to be thinking 3-4 moves ahead.
Well, shit, you better get on another level. Get on
23.
It's a game that the Chinese play called Go. Now it's like you got to think down there 100 steps.
I can agree with that. I can go with that.
You know what I'm saying?
I can go with that. I can go with that.
Yeah, they always say, "Oh, you better be thinking chess." I'm telling you, y'all better be playing Go, because this is like maneuvering, cornering, flanking, these type of maneuvers, and that's what's going on. We're not, and it's on multiple sides of a board. See, with chess, it's just me against you. That's it. That's all you see. But with Go, you're trying to outmaneuver about 3 or 4 different pieces on the board. Like, not pieces, but different plays on the form. Like, say it's like four chess games going at once. That's what you're dealing with. And so in our community, we are dealing with internal, external, different things that's giving us low vibrations. You got your parents, you got this going on, you got school system, now you got the prison system, you got the over policing, you got all these different things that we're trying to deal with, and we're trying to find solutions at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's real time every day. It's real time every day you go out the door. You don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so a lot of times to me, we make this shit hard.
We still hearing you. You can
still hear you. I had a call. I didn't mute my camera. You know, I'm using my phone as my camera, so I didn't mute. But we make this shit hard, right? You get guys with $1 billion, $100 million, and then they trying to get in the same game I'm in. They supposed to go get in another game and take over that, so I can spend money with you. Right? You don't come try to take over my game and not let me make money. You're supposed to get in something else. That's the name of the game. Like, we got to realize, like even once we start getting t-shirts made of all our brands, right? And we wearing all our brands and we supporting our brands, then now we're supposed to think, okay, how can we pull somebody else's brand in?
Yeah.
Like, not think about we just trying to suck up all the money. Like, man, I'm gonna give you my t-shirts at $1, $2 above cost and let you make money on them. Now you can make money off of not shipping them because you right there in the city. They can come pick them up. Right? We can become distributors. Right? You could become a distributor of your own brand. Like, that's when we really making moves. We can't just go in their system and get whatever they give me, and then now I made it. I didn't learn how to play the game. No, learning how to play the game is, get that money, and then now what do I do with that money? You know,
that was like Daz Dillinger when he when he got his money from Death Row. He tried to start the physical CD, producing the actual physical CDs as a distribution, just like you would go to what's that like Sony or what's the other big one? You got Warner, Sony, and Universal.
And the shit now, like they should already know the new blueprint is what the other young dude just did when he sold his as an NFT.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so we got to get to that, and then, like, not to drift too far, man, but like I was saying, we need to start putting stuff together to help melanated people in need. Like, when we talk about Haiti, like, we can talk about these business deals, like Like we should be trying to open businesses in Haiti. We should be trying to do all sorts of things in Haiti. I know it's red tape and all that type of stuff to do that, but
It's
at the
red
same,
tape for us.
well,
Right.
yeah, because you get people. I think Akon
Even-
even tried to open up some stuff there, and he was shut down.
Hell, even in Africa, they know the value of a melanated indigenous person here on this plane. in
All
America.
planes, really.
And
Well,
that's why they don't
I'm
want
saying,
us to get together
yeah,
and actually,
don't.
you know, make a game plan.
Yeah.
So it's easy now. I was watching I think Jake Taylor and Ben X talk about some of their stuff, and they was talking about how they got all these acres of land, and they got land in different
school.
countries. Yeah, well, they got land in different countries as well.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And they putting stuff together to where now they can start doing their own farming, and then now we can start doing stuff. We can start doing stuff to where we exporting, right? Like importing and exporting, to where we making moves amongst ourselves. And that's the name of the game. Not saying that other people can't buy from us, but we're gonna build a system that's gonna be straight up. And a lot of times when we start supporting each other, we see ourselves moving faster, but somebody get greedy.
It's always a fucking snake in the grass, man.
And that's the thing. We have to learn how to start supporting each other and helping each other up instead of, you know, I mean, yeah, there's more than likely always a snake in the grass, but we should be able to see who that is. We should have our guard up, but we shouldn't have it up. We shouldn't have like a permanent wall up.
Yeah.
Because if we keep that up, we're never going to get anywhere.
And that's what we end up doing. We put them permanent walls up.
Right. And that's what we've been taught to do.
But again, that's exactly what it goes back to, the divisions that we're taught from church to politics to financial standings, where our poverty level is, or, you know what I mean, where you got to go to school at. So the kids you tend to meet from your area that you're in. So these are all perfectly designed to do exactly what they're supposed to do. Keep our kids away from. It was a shock for me when most of our kids leave Compton and they'll go to a USC or a Stanford. They have no clue on what some of these kids that are coming from out of states or coming from these nice neighborhoods are accustomed to. And our kids are used to growing up on cup of noodles and top ramen. Like, you come from what? A steak, medium rare. Nah, you supposed to cook that thing well done.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't never been to a steakhouse. Have no clue on how a well piece of meat is prepared. Just don't. And it's not something that they're wrong for. It's just, that's just exposure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Most of our kids never get it. The system that's designed.
Hell, most of these adults
to keep us from exposure, huh?
Most of these adults, you know, they only know what they know. You know what I'm saying?
Because right. And then you got to think of how many of them have been in their neighborhoods their whole life and have never been.
Look, I never left the block, nigga.
Right. And that's
not a good thing. They think it's a good thing.
Right.
I stayed down. You did.
And here's the thing. If they actually get out and see different things, they would realize that they are not stuck.
Yeah.
With what they know.
One of my favorite songs of all time. It just gave a great synopsis of what that means. Born just like Compton.
Yeah. So St. Louis, just like Compton, man. Yeah, no, that was a cold song, man.
Quick went down to Texas, St. Louis. Yeah. He went on the road and he gave a beautiful. He laid out a beautiful picture of the things he think he's dealing with in the city. He go to Texas and they gangbanging. Hold on. What you mean y'all gangbanging? And then y'all want to be banging something different. Like y'all really official. Like what I got to do back at home, I shouldn't have to deal with this shit in Texas or goddamn in the Midwest nowhere. And then you realize that these people playing the same game. And
it's just like Texas. Yeah. And so that's why we got to change the narrative of all this BS. Like the rap game is changing. So we should already have a Haitian song out. You know what I'm talking about? It's supposed to be a collab that
Black and his boy.
Hey, but back in the day,
The music
the music industry,
reflect what was going on.
What was going on.
Exactly.
And not just the,
you remember
gotta have
self-destruction?
this. Yeah, even the West Coast did one.
Yeah.
Man, what was it called? His shit been so long ago.
Easy, all in the same gang.
All in the same gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Michael Conception did that one. But anyway, you know, I don't know, man. We gotta start figuring out avenues to help. Right, that's the main thing, and not just watching it. Right, so I respect some of the brothers I've seen and some of our normal activists that we follow. I know most of us follow them. That they've been out there getting busy and going down there and taking footage and asking questions, and then now shit's getting done. Right, like.
Well,
They gonna move when we start filming stuff and start making it go viral on these platforms. Yeah. The bad thing I think that happened when they was down there filming the Haitians, hashtags started being blocked. So these platforms ain't really letting what's supposed to be spoken or letting the free speech out. They out there like doing real journalism work. Right, real journalism work, and then now you banning hashtags because you don't want nobody to see that. So you can't be freedom fighters, and you only about the money. Like it's some people only about what they can make. And once we realize that, we got to use these platforms to our advantage to teach our people and to help our people.
Right.
And you know, I've been talking with y'all before. Like my goal now is not only have Grindaholic Network, but I want to have a website where they can get our content. So just in case if they shut us down on the social media platforms, we'll have our own shit. And then on top of that, I want to have grindaholics.com, which is the social media platform that should be coming out, so that way we can communicate and be no holds barred. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking into things like that. Some of the shit that we need, you know what I'm saying? I'm not looking bit monetary gain and all that shit, but the things that we're doing, it's going to pay off. So I'm not worried about the money. I'm just worried about how can we wrestle our people together and let's build the ecosystem that we need. Like you got Freedom Georgia, you got the virtual mall, the Black Virtual Mall. Things like this, and Dr. Clyde Anderson working on a train that goes to the major cities in the southern states. So when we start like really sitting down and looking at things, I'm looking at it from perspective what we need in our community. Like you harped on like distribution, like with t-shirts and clothing. Like Dr. John Henry Clark said, we don't even make our own draws.
No,
we got to go to everybody else for everything that we need. You know what I'm saying?
But we talked about that too. It should be a school where you come learn to sew. We're gonna come learn to sew. We're gonna come learn to print our own shirts. We're gonna come learn how to market them shirts. We're gonna learn how to like and then now like nowadays I heard somebody say this and it hit me like. Sometimes we get caught up in this social media, right? Like I ain't saying we shouldn't do social media, but sometimes you got to go that old-fashioned door-to-door marketing, right? You do reach more people with social media, but what about going to the mall and putting flyers on cars, old school shit, dropping flyers on porches, right? Like that ain't dead. It ain't dead.
It ain't dead, but you can't get fined.
Well, you got to know the laws. You got to know the laws, right? You got to know the laws for what you're doing. But
they assholes for doing it. Like you want to stick it inside people's windshields and shit like that. They assholes about that here in Florida. So again, you got to know the laws. But yeah, it ain't dead. But they're trying to make it harder for the little people to maneuver in this society.
They've been making it hard for us, though. And we always seem to find a way around it. So
exactly.
So like you said, move from chess to playing that Go, whatever it is. But you know, I think people just get the concept of playing chess. You gotta make more moves than one, or you thinking moves ahead. So once you think it moves ahead, it don't matter how many moves ahead, as long as you're thinking ahead. And that's where our people got to get to, right? Like we got problems, but we got to always be thinking solutions.
And before we leave, I just want to show people Also, we ain't conspiracy theorists, but here is the HARP, High Frequency Active Aurora Research Program. So it's a network of these different what is it? High Frequency Active Aurora Research Program was initiated in a ionospheric research program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. It was designed and built by Bay Advanced Technologies.
Yeah, it's actually in Alaska too. Yeah, that's where it's at.
This is it right here.
Yeah.
I'll play some of the video, but yeah, everything we talk about is research. So don't get it twisted. We just don't be talking out outside our nets.
And that's the thing. Even if they hear us say something, they still need to do their own research.
Yeah.
Here at the University of
Oh, it's all fiction until they make it their reality.
HARP at the time held an annual open house event where the public could tour the facility and talk to the scientists.
HARP is a facility to study the iron.
Yeah, so y'all do your due diligence, you know. Do your due diligence, but
with everything.
With everything. I mean, all we doing is planting the seeds, letting you. Hopefully, you had a spark to go research whatever we're talking about. Every show, we're gonna give you more game than what's needed, but it's up to you to go out and research this shit for your own knowledge and your own wealth and health. I'm a gradaholic. That's my man, the Trash Vegan. He's also an author. And he can help you get from fat to skinny. I'm gonna just put it. I'm gonna just put it out there. I'm not
eating donuts.
I was saying it because I'm salty as shit.
And you don't have to
Eating
die.
donuts.
You don't have to die. It. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it raw. We got the Butterfly Bully. If you need coaching done, if you need a book done, if you need whatever under the sun, she's the oracle of the group. She's like a Swiss Army knife. So I mean, everybody got that, but this is the one. she is the oracle in the Matrix.
Yeah, if you want to get your book done, she gonna beat you up softly.
I like that.
Yeah. And we got my man 50 grand, Curtis G. Mother Martin.
There we go.
He does credit. He's a strategist. He's an author. Everybody's author except me. And it's on the way. And it's on the way. I'm gonna have my little ass book. No, I'm just playing. That's a trigger word. So if y'all want to get her triggered, say little.
Yeah, ain't nothing we do little. Everything is big.
Big dog shit. But yeah, Kurt, he's a mastermind. By the way, the Black Masterminds will be conducting Black Friday. I want y'all to get tickets. It'll be on sale soon. Come fuck with us. It's a vibe. On some real shit.
Butterfly Bully Book Club tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
4 p.m.
Yeah. Tell them what book we studying.
Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Ooh,
y'all heard it here.
And if y'all haven't seen it, if y'all haven't read it, go see it before the book club.
Yes, there is a movie.
Word.
What is called again? The movie? I need to go watch the movie real quick.
Oh, The World Between Us.
Between the World and Me.
Between the World and Me.
Mm-hmm. So this concludes tonight's show. Anybody want to do the bit addiction? Or are we good?
I think we're good.
All right, let the church say it. But yeah, we love y'all. Please be safe out there. We're well, how should I say? We're gonna demand things to happen. We're not gonna. Let's stop begging. Let's stop asking. Let's just do it.
Yeah, just take action.
Just take action. All right, we got problems and we got solutions.